I think we're on. Hey, self-lovers. It's Katie here, founder of the School of Self-Love, and I wanted to do a Facebook Live for you today, and I think I'm going to do one every week for you. I had this idea. I'm going to keep an eye out to see who's joining. But I'm going to dive straight in, and if you're not going to catch this live, that's okay. You get the replay. As you know, I have a book, and it's pretty popular. And I get really beautiful emails quite regularly from women who are reading this, and actually from men who are reading this as well. And in fact, it's interesting because the men that are reading this are saying, why haven't you written a book like this for men? Why is it only for women? And truth be told, yes, my audience is women, but every single word in this book is relevant to men as well. I mean, literally, if you just went through and took out every word that said woman and changed it to man, it's relevant to men. Maybe remove some of the girly edge to it, but men are getting a whole heap from this too. So if your boyfriend or brother or partner is looking for some level of transformation, he might actually really appreciate this. But this, you guys, you girls, you are in my Self-Love Hub community, and you're in there because probably you're reading this book or you have read this book. And I thought a really great use of this Facebook community that we have would be to actually go through some of the lessons in this book. I mean, for me personally, and I really hold my hands up to this, quite often I will pick up my own book for guidance. I'll pick up my own book for like some reassurance or help or an answer to a question, you know, just to kind of remind me of the truth. Right? Like, this book really is quite the Bible, and I know it is for a lot of my clients. There's some really freaking powerful transformational lessons in this book, and I thought, why not use this space to share those lessons with you guys? And no one's joining yet as far. Oh yeah, we've got a couple of people joining. Hi guys. I'd love to know who's joining. If you could just put a comment in and say who you are, or yeah, let me know. That would be awesome. Now, what really prompted me to want to share lessons from the Self-Love Affair with you guys in this community was an email I had just a few days ago. And I'm going to read you the email because when I read it, honestly, my heart, I'm just going to bring it up in front of me. My heart melted because it reminded me why all those years ago, I wanted to write this book. And it reminded me who this book was for. And not least, this book, I wrote it for me, essentially. This is the book that I wish had been written that could have helped me a decade ago and more to get through some really tough times in my life when I genuinely didn't have a sense of self. I didn't know myself, and loving myself was like, well, I don't even know who I am to love. So anyway, let me read you this email from this beautiful woman called Sarah. It says, I felt very lost over quite a few years and have low self-confidence and self-worth, which as the years go on escalate and manifest into different thoughts and beliefs. I've been stuck in a rut over the last few years too, and have never been sure why. Other people are getting on with their lives, and I feel like I've been forgotten about in the great wide universe. I wonder if you can relate. I know I used to feel like that. I have constant negative chatter going on in my head, and in certain situations feel overwhelmed and not good enough, which makes me feel like I cannot bring anything to conversations. And when I do, I feel like I bore people. This is where this book, I feel, really speaks to me and has made me feel there is a light at the end of the tunnel. I love the way you've written it. The exercises really drill down to the problems that are going on, and how you finished each chapter with a relative song makes me want to carry on, and I feel so uplifted. As I said before, this book was bought for me by my mum, and I'm so glad she did. This will definitely be my Bible going forward, as I know once I finish the book, I can keep referring back to it at times of need. I was so grateful to Sarah for writing me that message, because I can see people joining as well. Please say hi if you're joining. I'd love to know who's watching. It so touched my heart. I was that woman. And my clients are, you know, in various variations, are that woman as well. And this book really is a Bible, and, you know, it needs to be taught, and they're great lessons. So should we get started? Are you up for learning a different lesson every week from the Self-Love Affair? I think what I will do is is go through the book in order. Week on week on week, I will teach you a different tool or technique, or create a new awareness for you, or help you clear a limiting belief, help to build your confidence, help to reconnect you with your spiritual self so you know who you are, right? Like week on week on week, I'm going to help you with really powerful tools direct from the book in order that they come in the book, because this book really is, in its own right, is a transformational tool, and it's a very specific process that it takes you through. And as much as I could pick out any piece from any area of the book and teach that subject to you, if we together could go through it in order and follow the transformational process, you'll really start to see just how powerful it is. Something I say all the time, as you know, self-love is self-responsibility, and just learning a piece of information is great, and then you've got to apply it, and then you've got to do the work. So this book is absolutely, it's a workbook as well as a good read, okay? So if you're going to follow this process through with me over the coming weeks and, you know, enjoy the tools I'm going to teach you, please, when I give you an exercise to do, I really want to encourage you to do the work and do the exercise, because transformation comes from actually doing the work. So the book starts off with, you know, very basically, as with any desire you have in life, anything starts with an intention. We've really got to hook into intention. It's still the beginning of a new year. What's the date today? Where are we? The 16th of January, right? We're only halfway through the first month of the year. I wonder how your New Year's resolutions are going on, how you're getting on with those. Most people I speak to set a New Year's resolution and break it in the first 2 weeks. Because New Year's resolutions are, without committing intentionally and getting support and intentionally working on whatever the resolution is, they just kind of fall to the wayside. Just kind of saying it flippantly as a resolution, that kind of doesn't really work. We don't keep them. Setting an intention is a very powerful energy. And I really recommend that when you're setting an intention, that you write it down. You write it down. You could type it, absolutely. Definitely tell your friends about it if it feels comfortable and safe to do so. But to write an intention, there's a real power in the energy of writing, and in the energy of setting and claiming an intention, and then creating a vow to yourself, a bit like an affirmation around that intention. And that's what I really want for you guys to start your year with. And it's the very first exercise in this book. So this book really, you know, it starts off with asking you, or, you know, explaining that you're in the right place if X, Y, Z, you know. I mean, in fact, let me go there. Let me find out if this is actually for you. Okay. So if you're fed up with feeling the way you do and have even the tiniest gut feeling that it could be possible to feel better, then this book is for you. If you're feeling stuck and ready to roll up your sleeves and get to the bottom of why you feel the way you do, if you're ready to believe that it's possible to survive leaving your comfort zone for something even better, if you're willing to open your mind to all the concepts that I suggest, even the seemingly out there woo-wah hippie shit concepts, if you're prepared to dedicate time to doing the exercises I suggest, if you can deal with being told some cold, hard truths because you trust that I have your best intentions at heart, if you're ready to stop the thinking that goes, when I have X, I will be happy, or if I could Y, I would be happy. If you're willing to stop waiting for a quick fix to magically arrive on your doorstep, if you really want to know who you are, if you're really ready to create a life that you love, if you're prepared to believe that I have been there and done that and got the t-shirt, that I walk my talk, and that I truly care about your journey, and so on it goes. You know, if you really do want to know yourself, if you want to fall in love with yourself, if you want to master your mindset, if you want to have emotional mastery, most women I work with don't feel like they're in control, or better word, in charge of their emotions. If you want to have a spiritual connection, if you want to feel more peaceful, if you want to feel more alive and vibrant and healthy, if you want to feel purposeful and on track in your life, if you want to start earning more money, if you want to fall in love and meet your life partner, if you want to find a career that feels purposeful and fun, whatever it is, like, you decide now. You get to decide. You get to claim it. Like, what is this year about for you? What is this life about for you? But let's like dial it down a bit. Let's bring it back to, what is this year about? If you want to break it down even more, what's the next 90 days about for you? The next 3 months? What's your intention? If that feels like a more manageable bite-sized chunk to focus on, then what is the next 3 months about for you? And decide, what do you need to overcome to have that feature in your life? What emotional piece do you need to master? What mental mindset piece do you need to master? What needs to shift in your life to create the thing that you most want? You know, most of us just want to feel happy, don't we? We just want to feel peaceful and happy, and like we're living a life on purpose, that we're not just floating and not sure why we're here, having that existential crisis, which most people do, that anxiety that is so normal that most people have, right? Like, you get to decide now. That's what the first exercise in this book is all about. And it's so perfectly timed for a new year, because setting an intention for your year or your next 90 days, if that works better, holds so much power. You get to decide what you want. This is your life. You get to create your life. If you don't like the way you feel, if you don't like what you're thinking, if you don't like what you're creating, what you're experiencing in your life, because here's the thing, whatever you're experiencing, like it or not, you are creating it, and you're creating it from your belief systems and your behavioral habits. If you don't like it, you get to change it. You know, you might know my story, but for many, many, many years, I genuinely thought I was a victim to life. I genuinely thought that I had no control over it whatsoever, that I wasn't in charge of it. I thought I'd been born into a particular family and a particular set of circumstances that caused me to experience a lot of bad luck, a lot of tough times. I was a total victim to it, and I was a martyr in the process. I was a victim to it. You know, when my mom took her own life when I was 22, I genuinely thought it was almost like, oh yeah, of course. Well, of course that would happen to me, because that's just the life I've been dealt. You know, when I didn't have any money and I was broke and I'd broken up with another boyfriend and I had a baby and I had a terrible time. I was such a victim. I was like, well, of course that would happen to me. Of course that relationship would fail. Of course I'd become a single parent and have no money and no car and no job and nowhere to live. Of course, poor me. But no, I was creating that. It wasn't really my fault. You know, it's a lot of, as much as I was so loved as a child, I adopted a lot of beliefs and a lot of behavioral habits that had me believe that I didn't have any charge over my life, that this is just as good as it gets. I grew up believing that life was hard, that I got dealt a bit of a shitty deal. That's what I grew up believing, because that's kind of what was around me. I grew up around a lot of anxiety and depression. It was one day when I realized that I could change the way I thought. I could change my belief systems. I could change my beliefs about myself. I could change my beliefs about the world. And we feel our thinking. So when I learned how to change what I believed, and I started to create links to, oh, I believe that because he or she used to say that, or I behave like that because he or she used to do it, and I'm just copying like a puppet. I didn't know that I had a choice, you know? And when I started thinking differently, when I started believing in myself and changing up my mindset, then how I felt changed, because like I just said, we feel our thinking. So I started to feel more peaceful. I started to feel happier. I started to feel more centered and grounded. And I had this sense of self. And that feeling felt great. It felt so empowering. I was no longer disempowered, like I was at the whim or the mercy of something greater than me. I became empowered, and I created a spiritual connection which had me realize the truth that I am co-creating my life with a power greater than me that absolutely loves me and wants the best for me. and you, right? And I'm not in this alone. I get to co-create with the universe. It starts with me, though. It starts with my mindset. It starts with managing my emotions. When I say managing my emotions, by the way, it comes with a caveat. I actually really mean learning how to honor and express my emotions. That is management of emotions as far as I'm concerned. It's not about pushing them down and pretending that they're not there. I realized I could change my life, and you can. And if there is, and by the way, this is an ongoing piece, right? Like 10 years ago, when I first started on this, changing my life was massive. I mean, I had so much work to do. It felt like there was this huge mountain ahead of me, and I genuinely didn't know how I was actually going to get to the top of that mountain and start to feel better. There was so much to change. There was so many belief systems and emotional sabotaging patterns going on that I needed to shift. It seemed just enormous. But with intention, it was possible. And then persistence and determination and support and so on. It all started with intention. And it's an ongoing process, because even now at the beginning of this year, I'm setting intentions for my year. I actually set intentions every day. I'm always setting intentions for how I desire to feel, what I want to achieve in a day, you know, what service I want to give, right? So everything starts with intention. And wherever you're at on your journey, whether you've got, like I did 10 years ago, that massive mountain in front of you and you think there is no freaking way I am ever going to get to the top of that mountain and change everything that I've got to change, whether you're there or whether you've done so much work and you just know you want to go to your next level. You want to go to your next level of happiness, next level of fulfillment and purpose in life, next level in your relationship, next level in your finances, next level with your health, whatever it is. We always have a next level, because we're spiritual beings. We're always changing and evolving and growing. There's always a next level for us. I'm always in coaching, because my coach will always take me to my personal next level. I have clients that are at the very beginning and they've got this huge mountain ahead of them. And I have clients that I've been working with for 2, 3, 4 years. And it's wonderful because they have developed and grown so much. And it's so beautiful to witness them going again to another level and to another level and to another level, and being even more of the woman that they came here to be. All of that, no matter where you're at, it starts with intention. So the first exercise in this book, the first lesson from this book, is to harness the power of intention, to get out your journal. And if you don't have a journal, another piece of homework is to go buy one. Go get yourself a beautiful journal and write down your reason why. Like pull it right back. Why would you like to take yourself through the self-love affair? Why would you like to join me every week here in the Self-Love Hub and learn another lesson, another transformational lesson from the self-love affair? Why? Why do you need to be here? Why are you in this group? Why? What do you want from the next 90 days? Why? What do you want from this year? Why? Write about it. Get really honest. If you have a sense that you don't know who you are, then setting an intention like this helps you to kind of create that beautiful, intimate, deep and honest relationship with yourself. Just write from your heart. Allow your heart to open and write what you want. Write your truth. Write who you are. And don't be shy. You know, I was working with a really wonderful client the other day, and it's actually a male client. And we were talking about his desires, and he was really embarrassed to tell me what he desired about his career and his finances and the renovations he wanted to do to his house. He was embarrassed because it felt really selfish to him. He thought it was very selfish to have desire, to want more. Like, he knows he's got a good life and he wants more. And he thought that was selfish and egocentric. And I was so excited to hear his desires, because they're so honestly, truthfully who he is. And when hey, Helen, nice to see you. Thank you for letting me know you're here. And And when he admitted his desires to me, he felt so much better. He felt so liberated. To be able to share your desires with somebody else who sees the light in you, who wants the best for you, it's such a powerful act. And I get to do that for my clients. And I get to do that for you guys in this group. So if you wanted to leave a comment here in this feed and let me know what your desire is, if you'd like to share it, if you would like my energy and the energy of this space and this group to hold you up, hold your desire in the light, that joint energy from all of us holding each other in the light for what they desire is really powerful. This is why, it's why I run group mastermind programs, because the power of the group, that intentional power of a group is it's incredible. So if you want to share, I'm all ears. It starts with you. It starts with you being really honest and really fearlessly and unapologetically being honest with yourself about what you want and why. And then write a vow. When you finish your writing, I want you to write a vow at the end of it, some kind of affirmation that claims it, that says, no matter what, I am going to do whatever it takes to create this for myself in my life this year. No matter what, I am willing to learn to love myself. No matter what, I am willing to believe in myself and create more self-confidence and self-esteem and self-belief. No matter what, that is what this year is about for me. No matter what, I am, hey, Christina. Oh, great. Yeah, got to run. No worries. Check in soon. Okay, darling. Great. No matter what, this is what I'm claiming for me. And I'm going to be unapologetic about it. Please write that in your journal. Once you've written your why, write a statement that means something to you, that's really powerful, where you really declare your worth, where you really declare that you're going to have this no matter what. You're going to do whatever it takes. And a really beautiful prayer I'm just going to add to that is, often particularly when we're, just starting out, we've got that big mountain ahead of us. And by the way, even if you're well and truly on your path of knowing and loving yourself, whatever your next intention is, if it's an audacious, exciting, inspiring intention, it will still feel like you've got a big mountain ahead of you, because it still can feel so far away from where you're at now. And in a way, I kind of hope it does. I kind of hope your desires are that big that they excite you and scare the pants off you at the same time, right? And now I've lost my track. But when you write that desire, when you set that intention, create a really fierce and purposeful and powerful statement about how no matter what, you are going to have that and you're going to claim it, that you're worth it. I remember what I was going to say now. It was that prayer. It was, even though I don't know how I'm going to do this right now, even though I don't know how I'm going to get to the top of that mountain, even though I don't know how I'm going to create this desire, even though this desire seems so far away from me right now. I can see another message, Juliet. I'll read it in 1 second. Even though this desire seems so far away, so impossible, so ridiculous right now, I am willing to believe that the way to it will be shown to me, or I'm willing to believe that I can discover how to get there, how to create it, how to feel that. I'm willing to believe that it's possible for me. That's such a beautiful intention, is to show that willingness. I cannot stress to you enough how energetically powerful willingness is, because I swear to you, the universe has eyes and ears, and the universe, when you write your intention, when you write your vow, when you declare your willingness, no matter what, you'll be shown the way, even though you don't know how right now. The universe hears you and sees you, and will start to send whatever it is, whatever support you need will come your way to show you baby step by baby step by baby step the way towards you achieving your desire. It's almost like the universe drops like breadcrumbs, like a trail of breadcrumbs, and you follow the trail. And that those breadcrumbs might be a coach, it might be another book, it might be lines from a song, lyric. I quite often will get a message with lyrics in a song. It might be a link to a blog that speaks to you. It could be an angel card. It could be something a friend says to you. Who knows? You will be shown the way. That was my experience. I was absolutely shown the way. And so will you be. But it starts with intention. Exercise number 1, lesson number 1 from the Self-Love Affair. Set your intention. Write your vow. Energetically open your heart and be willing to be shown the way, no matter how big the goal is. And I hope it's huge. Right. So Juliet, hiya. Hold on. Why my mouse pad's not working? Okay. Juliet says, I need the courage. Let me have a sip of my tea. Hold on 1 second. I just spilled tea all down myself. That's beautiful, isn't it? Right. I need the courage to have an honest conversation with my husband, whom I've been separated from for 3 years, just living stuck in limbo right now. Oh my gosh, I've been there. Okay, I need the courage to have an honest conversation with my husband, who I've been separated from for 3 years. Juliet, I hear you. I have been there. I have been separated for more than 8 years now from my son's father. And only a year ago did I get the courage to have a very, very powerful and actually what ended up being life-changing conversation with him, where I really owned my truth and I absolutely unapologetically owned my power. And it was a game changer. And it took me a long time to get there. So that was a big mountain for me. So I hear you on that. And I know that it's possible for you. And actually, in this book, there happens to be a chapter or a section on having empowering conversations, on having clearing conversations. I'm sorry that I've got tea all down me. So that might help you. If you have the book, then just skip through. You'll find it sort of 3/4 of the way through the book. But I'm holding that intention for you, darling. And that's really powerful and brave of you to share that here in this space. Thank you. Thank you. Write it down and write about, like, when it comes to having an honest conversation, a key step to that is to get absolute clarity on everything that you want to say. And you can really, that means that you're absolutely in your power when you go to have the honest conversation. So if you journal around it, journal everything that you wish you could say, everything that you want to say. And even because having a clearing and open conversation requires you to really be in your power. To be in your power means that you're not being a bitch and you're not being a victim. You're very centered and in charge of yourself, particularly emotionally. To be an emotional charge of yourself and to feel empowered, you have to have already done the emotional processing work that's required to bring you to that empowered place. So I would really recommend, first step, getting your journal out and actually writing about how you feel about him and how you feel about the situation, and express all of your emotion around it, whether it's anger, it could be sadness, it could be despair, it could be loss and grief, there could be rage, disappointment, shame, all sorts of emotions could be there. And I really recommend that before we have any conversation, we kind of got to clear up outside of the street first. And when you've cleared up your side of the street and you are clean and clear and in your power, it's so much easier to have a conversation. So do the emotional processing work yourself first. I love to get out a baseball bat and smash the hell out of a big foam block that I've got. Maybe going to a boxing class, screaming underwater, screaming into a pillow, having a good cry. Do whatever you need to do to express the emotions and really honor the emotions. And then write what you really want to say. Be really, really, really clear on what you want to say. And when you come to being able to speak to him, you will be coming from a very clean and clear place. You won't be bringing all of your emotional baggage around it into the conversation. You'll be able to just very clearly speak your truth. So there's two really powerful tips for you there on having a clearing conversation. I hope that helps. There's a bit more in the book. And if you want to know more, just send me a message in the Self-Love Hub, and I will do my best to answer your question. So ladies, I need to dash off now. Got to go and get my little man from school. It's that time of day. I hope that was helpful for you. I hope that you would like to come on a journey with me over the coming weeks, and we'll just, week by week, let's just like slowly go through the book together. If you are about to start reading the book, or you've read it and you want to read it again, now's a great time. Start reading it, and week by week, you're welcome, Juliet. Week by week, I can answer your questions. Let's create something of a book club, right? And I can be here, I can be of service, I can help you, and I can support you. And if at any point we realize that you need to dive deeper with anything, you know that there's so much on offer at the School of Self-Love. We've got 3 really powerful, and I'm so proud of them, online home study programs now. We've got Self-Love 101, which is essentially the teachings of this book. And we've got Daring and Mighty Love, which is for the single girls, which is about to launch properly. I've just taken a mastermind group through that program, and holy God, it's so powerful. And we've got Love Yourself Free from People Pleasing. So if you've got any codependent patterns of behavior going on, that is a freaking powerful home study course. So we've got those. We've got group coaching programs. I'm going to run a whole bunch of retreats this year. I'm just coming up with the retreat schedule and dates and so on. And of course, there's private coaching available too. So there's a lot going on. So if at any point you feel that you need another level of support, you can ask me questions in this group to discover kind of what level of support might be the next right move for you. And I can point you in the right direction. But anyway, it was wonderful to be with you today. Thank you for joining me. Thanks for a couple of questions there. And let me just close this over. And I'll see you next week. Okay. I love you lots. Enjoy your homework, setting your intention. Okay. See you then. Bye.